All right, traders, it's Sunday, May 28th. Doing this on the recording, so I was not able to have this on time at 1 p.m. Eastern time, normally when I have it due to other things, but I wanted to go ahead and get this recording done as I go through my normal market analysis anyway. So what I'm going to do is go through the pairs, go through the news fundamentals for this week. It's going to be a very light week until Friday, but I am going to record because there's some things that we need to look at and there's some setups that need to get done so that you can be prepared as I'm being prepared for the week. So starting off with the disclaimer, just real quick, this is, just for educational purposes, this is not to be construed as financial advice or construe you to take any trades or persuade you to take any type of financial position. This is for educational purposes only. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Therefore, you should not listen to me to do anything with your money. This is just for educational purposes, please. Um, Everything that I'm showing here is just for what I do, but it's also to help you to see a different perspective from the market, but also, how we trade and how you may want to look at and approach the market as well. Okay. So as long as we got that out the way, let me go ahead and switch over to the financial calendar for the week. So, real quick, we have this Monday, which is tomorrow, and this is very, very important. So for tomorrow, there's some things that we got to be aware of. So number one, we have basically nothing pretty much going on Monday. Just really nothing. There's you know building permit, but just really not a lot going on till Monday. So Monday is going to be a very slow ranging day, very slow ranging day. What I also can tell you is that tomorrow, I believe it's also the Memorial Day for the U.S. So we're having Memorial Day weekend. So um, not a lot going on for those in the U.S. as well. Let me see here. U.S. Memorial Day, which is Monday. There you go. Monday, May 29th is Memorial Day. Okay, so with that being said, Monday is going to be a holiday for the U.S. session, so there's not going to be any indices, gold, oil, silver, any metals, or any index or stocks open. So the equity markets will pretty much be closed. There's not a lot going on Monday. The forex markets still be open, but just expect very, very low volume when it comes to the New York session. Okay, London session may be a little bit moving, but it won't be a lot of volume coming in for Monday. Okay. So Tuesday, we're going to kind of pick up things back up. So starting on London session, we really don't have that much. We have Swiss francs is going to report their GDP, but that's about it. And then coming on to New York session, things to get a little bit warmed up. Well, we got the USD consumer confidence. So that'll start to pick up a little bit of U.S. volatility for the U.S. dollar. And then coming into London session, we have Australian dollars CPI. So that would move Australian dollar and get some movements on Tuesday night about 9:30 p.m. Okay. So moving on to Wednesday. Um, London session, we really don't have much going on. Let's see. We got basically just German preliminary CPI data. So that'll be a little bit of inflation data for the euro. And then coming into for New York session, we have just had GDP, and then we have US dollar jolt. So there'll be some volatility definitely happening on Wednesday. We'll take a look at the chart on what we expect to happen on some of these currency pairs on these particular days. But so far, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, there's no bank rate decisions. So that's a good thing. And then we're going to go into London Asian session Wednesday night. Not a lot of volatility going on, but there are just a couple of things for the Japanese yen. So you got the 10-year bond options, you got the financial manufacturing PMI, capital spending. So expect a little bit of volatility of Japanese currency. Not a lot, but just a little. Okay. Then we go on to Thursday, London session. It's a lot of news happening, but really not a lot of red folder news until you get to about 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you're going to have CPI flash data. So basically, it'll be a late moving um, session, but as you guys already know, we trade with the the model that the Asian range is the range in session, right? So it's going to create the top of the high of the ranging session, the low of the ranging session. That is going to basically paint the high liquidity of the range and the low liquidity of the range, meaning there's going to be liquidity created and grabbed on both ends of the session. So as you get into the London session, depending on market structure, right, we expect the market to induce traders to buy if it goes up, and then basically liquidate and then come back towards its intended range or trend, and vice versa. If the market breaks down during Asian session, it breaks out of the Asian session, we expect the inducement to be going down depending on market structure, and then New York session basically turn in its intended directions. So these inducements is to create basically traders, retail traders, to think the market and the price is going down, to induce traders to go short, to be eventually stopped out. And then in London, New York session, or mid London into New York session, that's when the real trend happens. So for instance, if this was an uptrend, we expect something like this, right? So it'd be an uptrend, be a little bit of pause during Asian session, and then we expect an inducement, right? Some may call it a small pullback, but this is more of a liquidity inducement to pull traders or induce traders to go short to liquidate to go up, right? So market makers are always selling down to buy up or buying up to go down. So in other words, they're induced up to sell or induce down to buy. It's more of that liquidity inducement theorem. So it's really about understanding liquidity and inducement, right? So as long as you understand the model that we trade, this is what we teach, and we trade at FS Prosperity Academy. So in the agent range, we don't take any positions. We watch the highs and we watch the lows, and then we watch price coming out of here. Then we use our AI predictive high and predictive low to see how far it will go, right? And then we also use a software system called the True Algo system to pinpoint exactly price reactions of where the levels of high liquidity reactions may be, so that we can understand at exactly when do we expect price to be liquidated after it's induced to go into its intended direction. So we teach this different models on how that is done. So that is what we're going to be expecting doing this Thursday. There's going to be a lot of activity during Asian range, and then whatever happened during London range, and then probably around 5 a.m., this is probably when we're about to start to see some type of reaction. This is just an example, not to say it's going to go down to go up, but it could be going up to go down. And we'll take a look at the chart, but we got to trade this from day to day, right? Okay, so going into Thursday after London session, then we get into New York session, and in New York session, We do have a little bit of volatility going on, which will be the USD ADP unemployment claims. So expect to see some volatility around there. And then later on at 10 o'clock, that's going to either further um, move the market and definitely affect indices and also stocks and equities. Okay. Other than that, we got our normal. Looks like we got crude oil inventory that's going to be happening on Thursday instead of Wednesday this week. And then that's it. And then we go into London session with a little bit more Japanese monetary based policy, but that's about it. No red voters, no bank rate decisions so far this week. And then we'll finish off Friday. Friday would be non-farm payroll. That would be very, very important because that's going to be highly volatility on Forex pairs. And with us, we are not going to be trading anything on non-farm payrolls. This is gambling days, kind of stay away day, let the market play out. If we're already in the positions, we're hopefully it's in the positions that we're in and it's trending up. If not, we're protecting our position or we're looking to hedge if it goes against us. Okay, that's it for Friday. So let's go ahead and switch over to the chart. Pull up my charts here. We're looking up at the dollar. So this is the dollar on a daily. And what we're going to be looking for is what is going on with the market. So let's take a macro view. Let's take it from a weekly perspective. So we can see here on the weekly that the market is definitely trending up. We had this high back here, and back here. Back here as in December 2016, we had the low of 2018, and then we had this equal high of 2020 before it was liquidated. After clearing this, it was liquidated to come down. After clearing that, look how liquidity gets induced up, liquidated down, liquidity run going up. It basically takes out this liquidity or meet up. When we say take out, I mean it reaches and then it liquidated. So after it got induced all the way up, it liquidated all the way down and it takes out, say, swing low, and it's just like one range in conditions, right? So eventually something's got to break, whether it's going to break up or whether it's going to break down. And in this situation, it broke up. Right? So that's historically the dollar for the last, I would say, the last 8 years. And then we had a dollar just go for a crazy liquidity run in basically all of 2022. And then it rebalanced 50%. And now we're having a situation to where the dollar is creating a pullback, come back down, take the sweep. And now, if you look at it, this is 3 weeks of straight bull run, right? Just like 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks here, we got 3 weeks here, okay? So that 3 weeks run, 3, 4 weeks run. And if you look at it from a weekly perspective, it looks like we're getting ready to attack this basically recent high. And if you're thinking that way, because you see it this way, guess what? You're right. It's looking and it is going that far, right? I do not believe it is not going to make this target or and just simply just start going down this way. Nothing technically that's showing this right now, especially when we have a big old fat fair value gap sitting right there. That's been the target ever since we left that. I actually thought we were going to go up here, but then it went down, but and it took out that low, but it didn't break through it and continue on. And now it looks like it's getting ready to attack this target right here, right? So after we attack this target, and if we do break, which I do believe it's going to break, I think we're going to come here to this weekly high and mitigate at least some of this fair value gap. Well, that's what price delivery and the market makers are designed to do in an efficient market. So just remember this, we got a fair value gap sitting right there. We got a weekly supply. So I'm going to break down to the daily to kind of get a closer view of what we're looking at the dollar index really drives basically 80% of the market in the forex market and 20% of the pairs. So it's very, very important to follow the dollar. If you do anything else, if you trade forex, this is very, very smart to do. So you can see here, this is the high, and there is a volume imbalance here. You look to the left, there's a volume imbalance right here where there's no bodies reaching between these two candlesticks, only a wick. And when you have that, you have what we call a volume imbalance. When you have candlestick body in between two candlesticks and just wick, but there's only candlestick, then you have a fair value gap or imbalance, right? That's from a smart money concept. So here we got a volume imbalance, right? That typically happens in the dollar when price moves very, very fast and volatile, right? So this is definitely going to be a target. We also have another volume imbalance there. So this is going to be a target. This is going to be target. And since it's right by the weekly, I guarantee you this is going to be looking really, really good, okay? So the question is are we going to see it this week? Are we going to see it next week? It's hard to tell because we do have non-farm payroll. And what I can possibly tell you without knowing the future, right, is that it looks like we reached this weekly supply and it looked like we may pull back down to this weekly demand level. There's a weekly demand right here because we had a rally, kind of a base and a rally. So this is kind of creates that order block of a demand. So I do expect price to possibly pull back, right? Just like it did here, pull back, went up, pull back, here, pull back, and then it finally went. So I do expect to see price pull back after 3 days. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days of rally. So I like to see a little bit of a pause relief. We may go up a little bit high, but we did hit up the supply zone here. So I do expect it to pull back maybe into the demand zone and then possibly non-farm payroll, boom, shoot up, okay, to attack that high. What's going to be very, very important is as long as we do not break this low right here, as long as we do not violate that low, we can come down and respect it if we want to, but I think we're going to come back up and we're going to attack this high and also filling that volume imbalance that's over here, right? And land somewhere in here. That is what I am seeing. So it's going to be very, very important to see how Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday drift down. Keep in mind that it will need to break this low to be invalidate this up move, right? It breaks down, closes, then we're going down the other way, right? And this would be nothing more than a lower high. However, when you have this imbalance and volume imbalance here, this is like a magnet. This is stronger than a fair value gap. So it is very highly likely there is a volume imbalance sitting right here, believe it or not. The volume imbalance sitting right here. So that's why I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised to see price drop all the way down here by Thursday, or by Thursday and then Friday dip and then shoot up. That would not be unusual, and I would say that wouldn't be surprising. However, but it will need to stay below for us to validate that we're now going down, right? So this would be our change of character on a higher time frame to confirm that this is nothing more but a lower high, and this is a lower high. However, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's going to pull back. I think we're going to land somewhere in here. And then by Friday, I think we're going to shoot up. We're going to attack this high. This is going to be my prediction to see this by Friday, next week, Monday. So I'm bullish on the dollar. Okay. So once it get up here, then we'll make a determination to see how much more the dollar is going to go. And I have this up here. This was more. This is for this week. From what I'm seeing from forecasting from technical, we may see a pullback, and we may see some reactions around here. So in other words, we may see some markets starts to get into a choppy condition at this high before we hit up again, right? Or hit low, right? So this is going to be a really key deciding factor about what's going on. My guess is we're going to probably come back up here. This is very highly likely because this is a nice rebalance before we start to come down, right? So could be around June 14th Fed decision making for the next bank rate decision, right? So June 14th, which would be in about 3 weeks, price can move up here in about 3 weeks. That is doable, or price moves up there because of the FOMC rate decision, whatever the case may be on June 14th, that can happen. So as for now, I'm definitely bullish still on the dollar, but I am short term waiting for a pullback or looking for a pullback. And then this is where I would want to long the dollar and therefore short Euro, USD, Pound USD, AUD USD, and so forth. Okay, let's look at the uncorrelated markets real quick. So let's look at gold. Okay, so here's gold market on the daily. And gold is very highly inverse correlated to the dollar. And this was my analysis here. So we definitely came up here to this weekly, more like a demand. I would say more like a weekly, daily instead. Sorry. So I think that's going to be more like a daily supply now. Well, we got new information here. So let me go ahead and move that out. Since we broke that, this is where we're at right now. Daily demand level. This is definitely a major weekly demand here. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. So with the inverse correlation to the dollar, looking at this, I do expect a little bit of a pullback on the dollar. So therefore, I'm looking for this to go about this high. And the reason why I say that is because that is the supply level of this candlestick move responsible for breaking the structure. So this is a very strong supply level, right, from a market structure standpoint. Now, the other thing is that you probably see is that there is a nice fair value gap. Yep, fair value gap sitting right there. You guys can see it very clear. It's on the daily charts. It most likely will be on the 4-hour chart as well, but it's very, very clear, right? So right there. So this area will be an area of attention or area of, I would say, observation. So I'm looking for price to come into this area, tap into the supply, and then head back down, right? So if the dollar pulls back, I expect gold to shoot up, right? And then when it pulled back, I'm looking for that location on the dollar to shoot up, and I'm looking for this location for the dollar to come back down, gold to shoot back down, okay? So for the next 3 to 4 days, I'm looking for a pullback on gold, so I'd be bullish on gold. And then once we come back up here, if you notice, if we have this situation, it kind of looks like a head, shoulder, shoulder. Market makers do that, right? So they do that to create price manipulation. But just because it's not designed to create a head or shoulder, it's just the way the liquidity runs from order flow, right? This is an order flow here before price had took off. This was some order flows up here before price took off. And there's some order flow right here based on this demand area, right, before price takes off again. So that's where I'm looking for a pullback on gold to come all the way back up and then hit this little supply area here, and then I'll be looking for it to be bullish, bearish. Okay, so short term bullish, long term on gold. I'm looking for gold to come all the way back down to explore this area right here. This right here, 1850 is where I like to see gold come down to. There is some imbalance down here. That's not like to say that gold is not possible to come all the way down here. It very well can be, right? It can just continue on, and I would say if the dollar goes all the way up top to attack that fair value gap, guess what? This is where I expect that gold to go down to. I expect gold to come down to about that high as I'm sorry, about this low as well. Rebalance that, right? That would be the whole recovery of this move right here. It's about 50% the equilibrium. So if I was to grab the fib from down here, this swing low, this right here, yep. So this would be the equilibrium, right? So once gold gets in here, this is where it starts to get attractive for potential buys. Not to say it's an automatic buy, but once you get in that area, this is when you want to start looking for price reaction on a higher time frame. And I can tell you, if it drops here, guess what? This is a target, this is a target, this is a target. Okay, to look for potential long as we get into our discount zone. So this is what I'm looking for on gold long term for the next month or so. So I'm looking for a small pullback for now, and then looking for a drop on gold. Okay, so that's gold. Let's get into S&P 500 and see what the hell's going on with the indices market. Okay, indices market. All right, look like it wants to rally, doesn't it? Look like it just wants to just take off and just go for the bull run, right? You can't get food here, and I'm not. So I just know it just created a nice bull run up. That's all I know it did so far. But my market structure tells me that we just basically took out the highs. That's all we did. If you look at it from a higher time perspective, we just took out this high. And we matched that high and that high, right? We do have a little fair value gap there, but that's something we can always come back to later on. The market could, yeah, could come up here. It could. And then from there, pull back, right? Because I can tell you, if the dollar is going to be weak, then this could potentially go up a little bit more, right? So I do expect this to, let me see, I can see where this, I think it's going to pull back. I do. I think it's going to pull back. I think it's going to retest, and then I think it's going to drop. This is what I'm going to do. I think it's going to pull back. It just liquidated that high, pull back, maybe attack the high again, but we'll complete this value gap imbalance there. You guys can see there's once the market opens back up, there is going to be a fair value gap created right here, right? And with that, I expect that to be filled. Now, the indices could go up here, but we haven't been as high since August. I would say even August right here, August 2022. Just because we reached this high doesn't mean we're going to be in a full recovery, and I doubt if we're going to rate that high right now. I do think there's a high probability, right? This is what I'm going to be looking for on Tuesday, for the market come back down and rebalance and come back and fill in these imbalances here, here, and at least come back to this area, right? That is where I'm looking for on the indices. Now, let me go ahead and draw this up because it looks like we have some Let me see. Let me see if we have something there. If I draw a pattern. The other side, this doesn't look like it's symmetrical at all. Let me put it just like this. Okay. I usually don't trade trend lines, but when I see a pattern, I like to see what it looked like in the pattern to see if there's something that might be somewhat correlated of what the market makers are trying to do to manipulate. You can see where it bounced in this side right here, created a higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. It may come up here. It may come up here. So if it does, don't be surprised that it does, right? Just know that it's possible it can come up here and at least maybe take out this high before it liquidates. So either we're going to take it out here or we're going to take it up here. Either way, I'm looking for it to come down. X marked the spot right there. Okay. That is high probable what I'm looking for after this thing turns around or down here, right? I do not think we are quite ready yet for the economy to do a full recovery once it passed that mark right there. Because that mark right there, trust me, we passed that mark. We're back to the good old days before we had this whole economic downturn started, basically last year in April, where we just melt down, right, and did like a big, let me see, what was this? A big 27, almost 28% correction, bear market correction. So I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet. I think we're going to come back down, especially when I expect the dollar to be stronger, right? So if the dollar is stronger, that means it puts pressure on the indices to get a little bit weaker. Um, the possibility of it coming down here is very, very low, but this is a very high probability area for me. So a little bit of bullishness possibility, but I'm definitely looking for either Wednesday, Thursday. If not, it goes up here. Guess what? On Friday, I am definitely looking for this thing to boop or this way, right? Either way, we are in a bull run, right? We're in a little bit of an uptrend from last week, Thursday and Friday. This is Friday. That was a nice run, but I think it's going to take out that high. It's going to either pull back, retest, and go down, or it's going to go up and then come back down. Okay. However, there's no major news catalyst right now to move this up on Tuesday. Wednesday, it may, right? Wednesday, we do have the um, the job opening. So job opening. Um, Tuesday, consumer confidence, that could probably do it. But definitely Thursday with ADP non-employment change, that could do it as well. But since it's the day before non-farm payroll, that basically it just ranges. However, this is a possibility, so don't be surprised. Anything above that is low probability, in my opinion. We got some liquidity here, so I can see some a little bit more movements up. This will be an inducement and then a liquidity run, right? So inducement and liquidity run, and then I'm back down, right? We break that, we're going up. If not, we're coming down, and this would be our change of character, and then we're coming back the other way. Okay, so I'm still at this point I am bullish. No, bearish. I am bearish. However, there could be a bullish. If it does go bull, I'll scalp it, scalp it long, but I'm not going to like swing trade it and just say, hey, S&P 500 is going to be out of a bear market and we're just going to keep running. I think we're going to reach a target if we do move up here. Like I said, we'll probably reach a target about that area in this zone and then come back down. If not, I'm looking for the market to start to take out this area right here and then turn around and do a liquidity run. Okay, so that's it for S&P 500. Let's go to Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin is doing real quick. Okay, so Bitcoin, we haven't seen this highs of 20, what the 21, up 21.4 since April. And been kind of ranging, just like I had thought, right? So just right into the $17,000 range. We haven't got into the $16,000 range. So it has been ranging. Um, yeah. So this swing low right here, before we came up, right? Just a nice, let's just say, just a nice order block here, kind of a demand zone. We've been kind of right in this demand zone where all this liquidity pool here. So we just accumulating liquidity here. I think we're getting ready to wind up to go up. So don't be surprised on Monday and Tuesday we get this, okay? And then we stay up here for a little bit. But so far, this look like the range we're currently in right now. Okay, so this is gearing up to go up. Okay, so right now we're already starting to go up here to about 18. So don't be surprised to see this on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so if you think about it, you know, the indices market was moving up, and this is kind of correlated to the indices market, but S&P 500 was flying. The crypto market, however, was just kind of like not following suit. It's kind of like lackluster for the last week. So while the indices market was rallying up, this was not rallying up that much, right? We're just kind of like in this range. So we may see a little bit of bullishness, late bullishness on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I think we're just going to kind of come back down in this range. So I'm not really concerned about this Bitcoin at this point. It's just kind of just nagging and ranging left and right, up and down, not left and right, but up and down. Okay. Let's look at the oil market real quick. For those who like to trade oil, what am I seeing with oil? Oil definitely came up here. We're in this nice little range here. All right. Just like I had figured. So what did I do here? Yep. Okay. So we're looking to come down, and I'm looking for, yeah, just to be honest with you, I'm still looking for this oil to come back up. Yep. I'm still there. So I'm still bullish on oil. Oil's been kind of like a little bit of a range here. That's just not really nothing going on, but what I'm seeing is that it is in a little bit of a channel. You see that right there? So this is what I'm thinking it's doing. It just boop, boop, boom. It just came back from down. I think it's going to go up. It's soon enough. It's on a squeeze to the upside, but I think it's going to take out this high. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to take out that high, pull back. Take out that high and pull back. But I think it's on a run to go back to 79. So that's where I'm at. I'm still bullish on oil. Right now, Friday was a good time to buy. So I think it's going to go something like this. Okay. So with oil, a little bit of bullishness, looking good. All right, let's get into the forex pairs. Let's start with euro dollar. Looking for the dollar pullback. So if I'm looking for a dollar pullback, that means I'm looking for this to kind of pull back as well. All right. So we may see euro strength kick in, but in this daily supply level, we just kissed it right here. I can see the euro dollar come back about right there, and then we'll come back down. To about 105. Do I see any other liquidity or demand zone for the dollar? There is some nice liquidity here. Let me go to the weekly and see what that looks like. Yep, I do see it now. Right here. To the daily. Okay. Okay, so that's just where I'm seeing the levels. I'm kind of marking down the levels of where I'm seeing the possible targets for euro dollar. But this is definitely weekly. Go ahead and clone that real quick. So I see this weekly down here. This is where it's below parity. This is right about 102, 103, 102. So these look like very, very reliable targets here. So this one and this one. Okay. So I don't see the dollar coming down this low. I'm not gonna lie, I do see that imbalance. It's there, staring in my face, obviously. Yep, it's there. But I don't see how the dollar can come down there. So I'm not gonna say I can't see it come down there, and it does, because it possibly damn sure could at any time, right? So I'm not gonna say it won't or it can't. But what I will say it's um, this would be some probability, right? Let's go off of probability. Definitely a pullback. I can see it come back to this daily. So this is more of a supply now. Move this out the way. Update this. So this is more of a supply. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark the zone right, and this would be daily supply level. There you go. Just in case you was wondering, like, what the hell is going on? Demand? How can demand be up there? I would agree with you. Okay, so we have this area where we got a drop, a base, and then another drop. So this is an area of liquidity. There's another area of liquidity right here. So um, I can see price coming to any of these areas. Yep. So, but however, there is a fair value gap right there. I can see it come about right there if it wanted to, which is very, very damn well could be before we head down. So this is a very, very, very strong magnet area of liquidity. There's a liquidity pool right there. You see all the orders just kind of getting manipulated here, because you can see how many times it touched that, how many times it touched down, right? So here is when there was a lot of equilibrium due to liquidity. So I can see this area being targeted again, right? So that would be with the next push to the dollar's strength, and this is where I'm going to be looking for. So right now, I am not going to try to trade this long. I am going to wait for the confirmation, and I want to trade this short, right? So what I'm going to do is just, let this thing go like this, and I want to see it pull back, but I do not want to see it violate that high right here. This is the line in the sand that I do not want to see this violated right there. I want to see it come up. It can peak up. It can do whatever it wants. We're talking about a nice. We're talking about 123 pip move. It can do this in 2 days. Come up, and I want to see it somewhere here, here, and in this area. And this is where I'm going to be looking for that dollar to get strength, and then I want to see this taken out this high. So basically, we may have a nice solid pullback. However, there is possibility we may not even do nothing but equal high from the previous lower high, or we may just poke up and then come back down. So right now, slightly pull back. If the dollar is a little bit of strength, don't be surprised if you see this come down. So just come down a little bit. Don't be surprised. And then we see this, because there is a fair value gap that still needs to mitigate. It hasn't quite mitigate all of it. So it still could come down about this area and then come back up to about this area. or in this supply zone. Okay, so look for a little bit of push down possibly, but if not, pull back with the dollar weakness and then go back down. So a little bit of bullishness, but bearishness. We're in the downtrend. It's very, very clear. Make no mistake about it. This is a downtrend. We are down. We're bearish. Okay, the market, just because it pulled back doesn't mean it's going to go up until we break that structure, right? If we break that structure and go back, then that's when you want to do it. But if it doesn't, guess what? We're bearish. We want to look for sales. Okay. From an equilibrium standpoint, let me just put it this way. From an equilibrium standpoint, I am going to go up from this swing low to that swing high. So that would be appropriate, right? Because this came up, if we did it like this, from right here, this didn't come back into the premium the discount at all. It just went here, came back down, and went a little bit higher. Well, when that happens, right, when the market does that, and this is on any time frame, but this is for the fib, this is what we teach, right? So if the market goes up and it doesn't come back further enough, then what it does is it goes a little bit higher, which it did, and then it will do this. It's going to pull back deeper before it goes higher, right? So we got an A, B, nope, a higher B, and then we're going to get a C somewhere in here before we attack the D. Okay, more of a Fibonacci sequence understanding. Okay, kind of like an Elliott wave, but not quite. But that's more of a saying, hey, we're going to see deeper movements, and the dollar is supporting the strength. Dollar strength is supporting it, your dollar case for lower prices. So this low right here, this is going to be a big one. So expect to see some reaction here, and then boom, it's going to drop. If it doesn't hold, it's going to drop. And I can tell you, there's been a lot of orders here, so I don't think there's any unfair buyers here waiting to buy this up. I think it's going to take this all the way down. We're gonna retest this 103, 102 area. I think it's coming, right? And the other thing is this. This is very, very important. On the Fib tool back up, we have not reached equilibrium from this swing yet. From this swing, we have not yet reached equilibrium. Equilibrium is right here, right, ironically, in this weekly demand, right? This is very, very important because when the market was melting down in 2022, if you think about it, from 2022, from this high, this swing high right here before it dropped, did we reach equilibrium? So do you think the market equilibrium theory is really at play here? Do you think? I think so. So we gotta be aware of that, right? So that's what we teach. We teach our students to understand that, so that we can know from a higher time perspective what can and how far can it go, or how low can it go. So it's very, very important that we keep this in mind, even though it doesn't look like it. As long as the high is established, we thought this was the high, but when it pulled back up, right, we went up and it exceeded that. That's fine. Took it. Now it confirmed. We got a choke. Got a change of character right after we break this lower low up here. Lower higher means higher low. We got that. We broke that. Now we're coming down. So equilibrium theory right here, 103, 102. That's my mark here. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, let's go to pound dollar real quick. And let's look at the pound dollar as well. So the pound has made a nice move, and let me just pull this back down. We're in a nice area. Let me go ahead and make this a supply zone now, and this would be more of a supply. So previous demand now turned to supply, right? So I'm expecting this demand level, just nice touch. Yeah, I'm expecting this to pull back, pull back, pull back to this high right here, somewhere in this zone. There's no equilibrium issues here as far as the value gap. So it might just come up here and now look for lower prices. So dollar weakness, dollar strength. And the dollar strength is going to pull this thing back down. Okay. Now, where's the equilibrium on this thing? Right? This was the flash crash here, a pound. So the equilibrium is way, way, way down here. So do I think it can come down there? I do. It could. It definitely could. In terms of demand, demand level sitting right there. So there is a possibility we could come this low, right? That means pound would have to be extremely weak, yeah, or more about the dollar strength. Okay. Now we got something. Now we got some context to the market structure here to say, hey, we got gold, pound dollar that can possibly come down about 115, and that is a brave possibility, right? So either way, we have not reached equilibrium from this swing high, swing high, swing low here. So I think we got lower prices coming. And we're gonna go a little bit higher, pull back, might see a little bit more like this, and then we'll come down. Now obviously it's gonna look like, I know, it's gonna look like a darn shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah, I know. It's gonna look like that. Either way, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna trade it. This is very, very important. When you see these few value gaps here, these are going to be mitigated. These are going to be rebalanced. Right, the algorithm just kind of took off. The market maker's algorithm just took off, and it's gotta go back and rebalance itself. And that's what it typically does. That's what the market does. How do I know that? That's how I was trained. That's how I was taught. I mean, obviously, I don't know it personally. I just know it from someone who trained me and taught me, who's are hedge fund traders and hedge fund trainers. Not something I read on YouTube somewhere. Obviously, some of this is on YouTube in terms of what they believe, but obviously they probably spoke to someone, so I believe that. Okay, let's go to odd USD and see what that looks like. Okay, odd dollar. Ooh, that was a nice low. Wow, look at this odd dollar. So if you look at this odd dollar, tell me, did you not think it got rebalanced once it came way up here? We're way, way into a discount area, right? So I do think the dollar is going to go ahead and move this out the way here. Got this order block sitting right there. So nice, nice move. Okay. So what I think is going to happen, I do think it's going to be a little bit of a pullback, right? Take care of this little fair value gap, and then we're going to come probably deeper, deeper in the rabbit hole. We could come here, or we could come here. Okay, this is my long term. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, euro dollar and pound dollar, it looks a way, way much better setup because we're basically already in the discount area to look for buys for our Australian dollar. But I don't think we're quite ready yet because the dollar may get a little bit weak, but we still got some strength opportunity on the dollar as we looked at. So, but once this come back down, oh my, this is going to be a lot much better setup than euro and pound. Let's look at the monthly here. So if you look at the monthly, there is a lot more room to go. I'm not going to say that it's not possible to go, lower. If you're looking at a monthly chart, it's possible we can come all the way here, then shoot up. So I'm not going to say that's out of the question. there is a great possibility we could come down and still not be at the all-time low, right? We could still come here, and that is possible. And I would tell you what, it comes down here, you, we better be looking. We better be looking for buying. If it goes down, I'll buy it again. I swear this is looking really, really good setup. But as of right now, it's not looking for a good setup because we're already in the discount area. So I would not want to short it here. If it pulls back and the dollar gets strong, oh yeah, that's a nice short. Absolutely. So a little bit of pull back on our dollar, but then I'm looking for a long-term bearishness on our dollar. Hey, let's look at NCD dollar. NCD dollar had that weakness last week. That was nice. That was nice. Nice little run. Okay. Well, maybe a little bit more. And then let's pull back. Right. That was a nice liquidity area right there. Go ahead and mark that up right here before it dropped. That would be the supply zone. That's where price was at. That is still a supply liquidity area. Let me go ahead and clone that real quick and put that right there. Okay, so we broke that. That's no longer an issue now. That's already been mitigated. So now, right here, I can see a little bit more bearishness to the downside, and then boom, pull back all the way up there, right? Or at least fill in this imbalance here, 50% from this swing high here to this swing low, about right here before we drop even further. So NCD USD, I think it's going to be more bearishness, but we're going to pull back a little bit, at least 50% because of the vertical move down. Okay, that's NCD USD. Look at USD CAD. USD CAD went up. Nice, just like I had figured, except I wanted a little bit of pullback that just shot up. Okay, now it came back to this high. Let's pull back, and then go a little bit higher. Okay, so now that we made this move up, CAD, I'm talking to you, USD CAD. Now that you moved your butt up and took this high, basically, and it's had a down day right there. You can see where it has a bearish day right there. I can see it now getting ready to come back down. Come back somewhere in this area here. Come down somewhere in this area and then push back up. Okay. I don't think it's going to come all the way down to this area. It could, but I'm looking just as long as it comes to the supply. It already went into this supply zone. Okay, let me narrow this down a little bit more. That was more of a weekly. Put a little fair value gap there. I like to see it come down up in this area. Once it come in this area, I think after we pull back, then I think we're going to pull up. The last bull run for the dollar coming all the way back up. I think it's going to retest these highs up here. Look at this nice little range, right? We're in this nice range. Look at the weekly. See, that's just not out of the question. Gotta be very, very aware of that. I didn't see that until I pulled that up. Weekly supply, where you at? There you at, weekly supply. This would be more of a daily supply here. So this is not out of the question. 2020, but we did touch it here, 2022. So I think it's a possibility we could come back up there and visit that. Okay. So we're in a little bit of a bull run. I do expect a little bit of pullback. It may not pull back that much, but this is an area where after the pullback, we may see this run. Okay. somewhere up here. Okay, so a little bit of pullback on USD CAD, and then let's go for the next run. Okay, that's USD CAD, USD Swiss francs. What we're looking at. You shooting up yet? Okay, you did. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of a pullback, and then let's keep shooting up. Okay, so we are creating some higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Come back, and let's start to shoot up. Again, this fair value gap is still on my radar right here. I'm telling you, this premium fair value gap is like in my face. I'm thinking, are we really gonna come up here? It's just really, really possible. I think it is. I think it is. It's doable. I tell you what, though, we are definitely attacking here. So, guess what? US Swiss francs, you should be doing nothing else. But this is a better setup than USD CAD. If I had to tweak between the two USD base currency, USD Swiss francs is a whole lot better pair to trade setup from a perspective than USD CAD. I would leave USD CAD alone. USD CAD was sitting up here still. This right here is a very nice setup. After we just liquidated this low right here, we're coming back, right? And did we just? Yep, we did a change of character right here. Just low right here. Did a change of character. This was the lower high, lower low. We broke it, and that's confirmed. We held it, and now it's going up. So this is definitely an uptrend. So continue on. So buy the dip, let it pull back. You got a little fair value gap right there. Right here, little fair value gap right there. Let it come back. Boom. Okay. All right. So USD dollars Swiss francs. Okay. Let's go on. What's going on with the yen? Okay. First of all, let's go to the yen index. I think we're going to take the time out to go over another currency index that I normally don't do. Right. So on a higher time frame, I think it's important for us to go back and take a close look at what's going on with the index. Let's go to the monthly here on this yen. What the hell's going on? We got the yen sitting way up here, and now we got this yen sitting way up here in the low. Well, obviously we want to be buying longer the yen, right? We want the yen to come way up here. Yeah, but if you go to the weekly, that's a long way up, right? That's like 2025, right? As of right now, we're struggling with the weakness. So what's going on in the short term, like right now? So here, you can see how I did some markup here. And there's a lot of lines here, but let me see if I can break this down to make it a little bit more clear. So here we are in a weekly. And we came down and we created this low. And then we spring up. Well, with that low, it left a big old demand zone here. So there's liquidity down here that was taken up, right? And with that, there's a void here. There's an imbalance sitting right there. And when that shot up, and then we had another demand zone, then that shot up, came back down, and it came all the way to this high. Well, this high created this weekly supply zone before it sold off. Right, so we got an area origin of supply, we got an area origin of basically demand. I know it's that low, but just hold on. So could it possible that the Japanese yen could go back and revisit this? And the answer is, unfortunately, yes. It is greatly possible that we could see this come into this area of demand before we go back up again. Now, this is an all-time low now. We're right back at it, right? It's sickening, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is at this point, right? So in the midst of all this, let me go ahead and move this one so we can get the color scheme correctly. I had marked this up and sent this to the coaching students so they can see it, what we're looking at. And what I wanted to show you guys is with this area, we have price, and it finally broke this area right here, right? That price come down right there, created that low, just retest that weekly demand right there, and came right back up, and it retest that supply right in the middle of this weekly supply. Then it came back down, and it created this supply, came back down, created this supply. This is when I started to short pound Swiss francs, and also started getting into pound yen, right? Well, basically about right here. Pound, switch JPYs. Then I got into pound JPY, and this thing just took off, right? So we're deeply into this weekly demand right here. Okay, so this is the weekly demand area that we're in right here. Now, there is a nice daily order block level sitting right here on the daily time frame. Right now, I'm on a weekly time frame, so you guys can see it. But on a daily time frame, we got a weekly demand area. Guess what? That's right. We're there. We're right there. But you got to be aware. You got a fair value gap there. And because we got a fair value gap there, we can't be surprised, right, that it's sitting right there. So price is going to do one or two things. It is going to say that's enough and start to go ahead and move some of this drawing here real quick. Don't mind me if you don't. So right now, we're right here. And there is a possibility that the yen could come a little bit lower to these lows and then start to bounce back to supply. We got a nice imbalance sitting right in this area right here. Right, and there's going to be another imbalance once this candlestick gets painted for today. It's going to be another imbalance sitting right there. Okay, but and for now, we got one main imbalance sitting right there. So I'm going to go back to the daily chart so we can see this clearly. Nice imbalance sitting right there. We got a nice imbalance sitting right here. And this green line is kind of like the low of the market, right? The Japanese yen low of the market. There is a possibility with this Friday fall off, it could come a little bit lower. Yeah, I know. That means euro yen, pound yen, Swiss Japanese yen could go a little bit higher, right? And I can tell you what, I'll be willing to buy again. I mean, sell again. So it gets a little bit higher. I would be looking for reaction before I sell again because I'm already deep in terms of a cost average. So I would look for a reaction here, look for a change of character before I start to sell. If not, it's coming down here. And this is where you would want to be ready to buy, right? If you sell, if you are not in any of the yen currency, I would say wait. If you're not in any, wait. You're waiting for, ideally, to be honest with you, you're waiting for price to come all the way down here. Now, is it smart to go ahead and start selling? I mean, in other words, start buying yen. It's because we're just falling. At any time, we can be going up. So you scalp, definitely get ready to, if you go buy euro yen, pound yen, we're gonna take a look. There's a little bit more opportunity, but not all the yen crosses, only a couple. But if you do start to buy, pick the one that you think has more room to go, not the one that doesn't have enough room to go. Because even though there's potential more downturn on the yen, I don't think there's more up potential on all the yen crosses, only a few. Okay. So with that being said, I am definitely looking for yen pullback in this area. And if it goes lower, I'm telling you, I am looking to do nothing else but buy in this area. And then we're going to have a nice run move. Okay. So I got to hold on to it for the yen crosses that I'm in. Um, I'm confident that it is eventually going to go. I don't know exactly when, but I am thinking it's going to be anywhere in this area. Anywhere in this area is what I'm looking for. And I'm going to be closely monitoring this and be updating the live trade signals and looking at it every day with the live trade room. And we're going to see if we're going to turn now or we're going to go a little bit lower. But I can say we're getting closer than anything. After we broke this low, that's when I was at, uh-oh, it's going higher. Okay, so let's look at the couple of yen crosses to see which one is best to consider buying and which one not. Let's start with the Japanese yen. Okay, Japanese yen, you can see right here, we've actually taken out this high. This is done. Taken out as in we exceeded. We are now getting ready to attack this high. Yes, we'll be there. Here's a good thing. We have an imbalance sitting right there. Where? Right there. Right. So we got a major supply zone up here, and we definitely got a major supply sitting right there. So the possibility of this market coming down is very, very high likely. So let me say this. We probably go a little bit higher. We're definitely gonna have a nice little pullback, and then we possibly go higher on the dollar yen, right? Now, I don't know if this is going to be more about the dollar being stronger or the yen being weaker or a combination of both, but I do think it may be a combination of both in this regard, right? If I was had to choose, it's just more about the dollar strength or more about the Japanese weakness. I'm going to say it's a combination of both. That is most likely going to hit this area and then slam. So there is some potential movements still. So if you were to buy something, you may want to consider buying this. We got about 450 pip potential that I could still possibly could go. Okay. And then that's it. We'll be at the top of the market for dollar yen that we haven't been and since last year, Monday, October 20th, 2022. Right, so there is a little bit more room that we could see. We're going to come up to this area right here. And if you look at it, if you look at this and just look like a 1 minute time frame, guess what? That is the optimal time you would want to sell anyway, right? If this was a 1 minute time frame and you saw this thing go up, I would just put a pending sell order there, wait for it, and then more like 3 or 4 minutes, boom, it's coming. Believe it or not, whether it's on a higher time frame or lower time frames, it's no difference. It's the same thing. Sell off, sell off, sell off. This is the monthly chart. Wait for it to come up weekly. Sell off, up. We're in an uptrend. It's coming. It's coming for this void. And I'd have no reason to believe it's not going to go. At first, when it came down here, I was like, no way it's going to come up all the way up there. It's kind of looking like Euro switch, USD switch France. It's like, no way it's going to come all the way up there to that fair value gap. Well, we're closer than it ever been. Way closer than it was when it's down here when I saw it. I was like, okay, guys, that was a nice run. This is nice value gap. I don't think it ever go. And then sure enough, believe it or not, boom, there we are. So a little bit of a pullback. I think dollar yen, definitely more time to go. Got more room to go up and down. Okay, let's look at the rest of the yen crosses to see. Okay. About I'm gonna have to go to weekly charts for this because these are all high. Okay, how about euro yen? Now, euro yen is already at a strong supply level. Strong supply level. This is the top of supply level. This was back in 2008. We've definitely exceeded that high, and we're back to where it's at right now. So all this is opportunity right here. All that is opportunity, and that's it. It doesn't look much, but we're talking 344 pips. So there is still potential more room upstairs. But to me, this is not really an ideal location or ideal pair you would want to long. This is an ideal pair you would want to short compared to dollar yen. Okay, so I do think there might be a potential more room to the upside, but I think it's in this zone, anywhere in this zone, and then we're coming back down. So to me, this would be more of a risky trade. I would want to wait to short euro yen versus trying to buy dollar yen. Okay, let's look at the next yen cross. Let's go to pound yen. Pound yen. Oh, let's go to the weekly on this one. Yeah, it's already at a strong supply level here. There is some imbalances here that it could potentially go still, but we're talking about another 1,000 pips. That is possible. Um, but I don't know if it will or not. It could, and if it does, this would be a nice place to short for sure. It's not going to go up here, but this is probable. So we got to be aware of that. That is probable. So at this time, I would not want to consider shorting pound yen unless you're already in it, right? And I say that because I'm already in it. So if you're not in it, you may have an opportunity to still get in when it's the right time, right? And when it's the right time, you're looking for a rejection like this, and obviously this would have been optimal trade to get in for a short, but we didn't get a change of character break, so you would have to get a more of a confirmation change of character break. But other than that, this is a risk for even my account that I would have to continue to hold and wait till it gets up here. So I will be looking to short on my other account that I had to get out because it's kind of squeezed me out with the drawdown limit. But I will be looking to get into a short anywhere in here, especially we get into this area. Okay. But other than that, this is not a good area to. I wouldn't long it because we're at a very strong supply level. You can gamble and take it and go. But to me, again, pound dollar so far is a better setup. This can go here, 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 all the way up to here before it reverses. So I'm not sure if you want to take that chance to see if the pound yen is going to reverse here, reverse here, reverse here, or reverse here. I'm just not convinced any one of those is what you want to risk. You want to wait till it finally, you know, goes up, bounce back, create and break a choke, let it break, let it move, and then come back and catch the fair value gap here for an entry. That would be an ideal, okay? After you get that choke. That is what you would want to do, okay? And this would go for euro yen as well. So still might be possible more room for pound yen or T upside. Okay, how about CAD yen? Okay, CAD yen on the weekly does look like it got more room to go as well. Okay, so this looked like the next better setup than euro yen and pound yen next to dollar yen. Okay, this looked like a potential little bit more setup to 416 pips. I like that one versus the 1,000 and 600 or 400 for the euro yen. I can see this coming up. Definitely mitigate this area right here. And be ready to take this down. So if you wanted to scalp this, this would be a second choice of scalp going up versus, you know, the euro yen and pound yen. This is, to me, just, it's like, man, I don't think we're going to come way up here past December 2007. This is way, way, way back then, right? I think we are going to come back and we're going to attack this weekly high right here, weekly supply level high. And then I think this is going to be ready to go down. Okay, so if you wanted to scalp up, a yen pair, this would be my second choice. So I do think there's a little bit more room to go. We just filled this imbalance that I didn't think we were going to do, and I think there's more to go. CAD yen going a little bit more up, and I think it's going to do it this week, and then we'll be with the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be ready to go down. So this is a nice opportunity to buy up next to the dollar yen. How about the odd yen? Odd yen, I do think odd yen is going to come up a little bit more. I think it's going to come up here, but it's still not that much more. 300 pips possible, potential anywhere in this area. It's kind of hard to tell, but we're already in the supply, so I don't feel comfortable about, wanting to short or long pound yen. I would want to short odd yen, to be honest with you, but I know it's in a bull run, but I think it's going to have some potential to attack some highs, but I don't think it's a quality setup versus CAD yen and dollar yen, because anywhere these potential area, we could short here, could short here, could short here, and I mean, it could turn. It could turn anytime. You don't know which one versus the CAD yen and dollar yen. You got more substance in terms of level. This is one level it can turn, and this is the next level of liquidity it could turn. Could it come all the way up here? It could. I'm not going to say it won't, but there is no imbalances here to support that from my standpoint. This is a nice area of liquidity. This is a nice area of liquidity. Anywhere of these levels, which one? You want to take your chances? I don't think I would want to do that with on yen. For me, I would stay out and just wait for the yen strength to kick in. This one has already went down. So let me go to the weekly on this one. Ooh, yeah. This one went down. I think we're gonna come back up right here. I'm on a weekly chart. I mean, how much more? Could go up higher. This is already. I mean, how much more are you gonna go? 400? It could. It could. But this is a lot of choppiness, to be honest with you. I don't feel comfortable with taking a NCD. If I had a choice, dollar yen and CAD yen so far. Just however, this is going to go up, but then it's going to turn down and it's going to be ready to go. Ready to go in terms of coming back down. So to me, I would stay out of NCD yen as well. Odd yen looked way better than this one, but odd yen is already hitting at the top. So odd JPY, odd JPY and NCD JPY don't even look like really good trade setups. I'd rather take my chances in long and euro yen, to be honest with you. So far, if you want to long something, euro yen and no, dollar yen and CAD yen so far. But other than that, all the other ones so far, I would wait unless you're already in the pair. It's totally different story. Yeah, this is all-time high. It's not going to go that much higher. Do I think it could go higher? Sure, it can come to about the end of that range by another 300 pip, if that. This is at an all-time high. I'm shorting this like it ain't no tomorrow. This one is one of my favorite shorts. This is the highest it's been in a long time, right? Let me go to the monthly and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, you can't even see. This is far as date as in 2004. Let me get a data set that you can see from a more data set. There you go. This is back in 1979. Look at what price is at right now. Price is in the middle of this thing. And we're talking about another 300 pip to be on the top of that. That's about all you're gonna get. You're just getting the tip of it. Just the tip of it. In 36 years, we haven't been this high on Swiss franc yen. And this is not even the second highest price. That's the highest. That's the second highest. This is the third highest, though. That was the third highest. Now we're currently at the third highest. The third highest was back in last year, 2022. We're now at third highest prices ever been. So, in my opinion, yeah, if you're not in short Swiss franc yen, out of all the yen crosses, this is the first one you're gonna want to be looking to short. And I am going to take this all the way down here. I want this all the way right here. And it's gonna come down. It's gonna at least come down right here. Look at this. Got a long way to go, but at least gonna come down here for now, right? Not even have never reached equilibrium yet. Now I'm going from this swing low, right? Have not even reached equilibrium. Even that wasn't even equilibrium reached. So it came back, went higher, and now it's gonna fall, and it's gonna fall even lower. I'm telling you, these, if anything, this would be the only one I would say push the sell button right now. It's gonna go higher. It could, but you could miss it too. So if I take that back. If I were you, this would be the first one I would look for confirmation. How about that? I'll be looking for confirmation of the break of structure. And right now, this break of structure is right here. This is the break of structure that I would be looking for the break. And this is the break I'm talking about. You want this thing to break, take the entry right there because it will come back. And that's where you want to take whatever that break of structure is and whatever that fair value gap is. That's created. That's where you want to put your entries. That's where I would be more conservative in. But other than that, this is definitely going to fall, and it's going to be a nice one when it does. It's just a matter of when. And I don't think it might not happen this week. It still got some room up. Yen's very, very weak, as you can see. It got a ways to go, and it could potentially go lower. In regards to these pairs, can continue to go up a little bit, right? So frustrating, but that's where we're at. Okay, let's look at a couple more and we go ahead and close out this call. We got euro odd. Nice. Euro odd went up. Just like I figured. Look at that. Euro odd went up. Guess what? Now let's slam it. Okay. May go a little bit higher into this daily pocket. Other than that, let's go. Let's go and drop this thing. We're waiting for it. Come on, euro odd. We're waiting for it. Got this nice swing. You see this one right here. I can't count the swing as equilibrium because it never went. So it came, went a little bit right here, and then went higher. So with that being said, I have to take this whole swing. If this one would have came in least equilibrium, then I can say, okay, let's move this up, right? Because it didn't, I have to say that it didn't ever reach equilibrium, so I have to extend it now. Right, so now I'm waiting for price to come into this zone, this area, and this would be my price of equilibrium before I considered, you know, yeah, I think it's gonna come back down. We're at this nice area of supply, it's been up here for quite some time, and it's getting ready to break character. Let's short it. Okay, so you're on. I'm waiting for a short. Every time it pops, short the pops. You're on. Pound on. Ah, went exactly what I thought it was gonna do. Right there. Same thing. Short the pop. Yep. I wouldn't do anything else but wanted to. Man, I wouldn't do anything else but want to short this darn thing. This is, ugh, this is yeah, perfect. Man. Frustrating for people who've been wanting to short this damn thing. So this is like what I was talking about with you on for pound odds, but if I went from here to here, well, even that didn't even go to equilibrium almost. Well, I'm just gonna have to go here. Here we are. Yep, equilibrium. I'm gonna keep it. Pound odds coming down. It's going to kick in strength, guys. I think it's going to kick in strength next week. So this week, matrix is floating. I tell you what, I will be willing to short this when the next odd rate interest rate. I think the odd interest rate. I think it's waiting. Market makers just, oof, they're just dirty. I think they're just waiting, just floating up here for a little bit, and then wait for odd interest rate decision. I think it's next week, and then I think it's going to short that. Okay, your cat. Let's where we at with your cat. Okay, your cat. I think your cat is wow. Your cat had went up. Okay, so I think we're gonna see a pullback this time. Your cat's gonna pick up strength. It's gonna drop dollar cat, and I think your cat's gonna. It's at a supply level, demand level. That's why I'm saying that. That's just demand, and this is at a daily, right? So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at this move. You're talking about for 7 days, it only moved 122 pips on your cat? Are you serious? Oh, look at for bad gaps. You got some move. Oh, yeah. Pull back, guys. Look for this. I would buy. I'm bullish. 361 pip potential. At least to equilibrium. Your cat. I'm bullish. That's 190 right there. And then we'll pull back down. Okay, how about pound cat? Where we at? Ooh, you didn't move still? Guys, yeah. Yep, liquidity right there. Supply zone. Yep, a little bit pullback. Oh yeah, we got some ways to go. And then we're gonna drop. Okay guys, a little bit pullback on your pound cat going up. But your NCD. Oh yeah, with NCD. Ooh, yes. Alright, we're done. Time to go. Now we're gonna fall. Okay. So we didn't take out this high. We didn't take out this high. We just created a lower high. So we did. Now look at all this fair value gap. Short it. Nice short. And bye-bye. I would take it. I like it. Your NCD. I'm bearish. Let it fall. Pound NCD. Ooh. You're even more sexier. Alright guys. I like it. Let it fall. Let us know. Let us know. Let us. Look at this. Look at this range. What would you do up here? Buy it? I'll buy it down here. Look on a weekly. Ooh, a nice move up here, but we've been in this range since when? 2017. So it looked like your NZD pound CD is fine in a high equilibrium right here. So I think it's gonna time to come back down. Yep. I will want to short it. Everything in my bones tells me to short this. Short the top. It may go a little bit higher. It may, just a little bit. Well, nothing wrong with inducing traders to go up. Induce and liquidate. Just rinse and repeat. Induce and liquidate. Another 107 pips it could be. Or take out this high and boom, liquidate it down. Oh, nice trade setups. Okay. Pound NCD, I'm bearish. Catch switch France. What are we doing? Pulling back a little bit. Maybe take care of this little value gap. Switch France. I think cat switch is going to kick in. Yep, I think this cat switch is going to kick in. And then we may fall a little bit. So it fell a little bit. So I'm more bullish on cat switch France, especially at this all-time. Come on. It's all-time low. We've already talked about it already. If you guys have been watching my top-down analysis, this is all-time low. Cat switch France, buy. Euro pound. We down there yet? Nice, we did. We took care of this imbalance that I was been looking for. We still need to come back all the way down. Don't play with me now. I'm in this nice little range here. You see this nice little range? Come all the way down. I still think we're bearish. Weekly, look at. Come on, what do you think? I think we need to come all the way down more. So we got this in fair value gap. I like to see it come all the way down here. And then do nothing else but just buy, buy, buy. Every time it drops, buy. But now, every time it pops, sell. Pop, sell. It may even pop way up here. It may. And if it do, sort it. So it's in its range and move right now. It's just not happy about it. But if it doesn't break here and it holds, look to short it. It's one of those. It's one of those things that I don't like it because it's just ranging, so it doesn't trend enough. But it may be until the next euro or pound news. That would be a great opportunity to wait for like a euro or pound rate decision. Yes, that would be a great time to short this. Right, from day to day, not a really good day-to-day pair to trade. Okay, pound Swiss francs. How about pound Swiss francs? Are you down here yet? Okay, let's go up. Pound Swiss francs. I'm bullish now. It may go a little bit higher, but I'm bullish. It came down. Odd CAD. Where you at, odd CAD? Ooh, you really want to drop? Drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Okay, so we're gonna drop it like it's hot. I'm bearish on dollar CAD, and then after dollar CAD, drop. Time to buy. Yeah, look at this. I'm going to weekly so you can see it. I mean, what more you want? Want lower? Right? I would wait until it gets in this area before I buy. That's for sure. Because you might get this, you might get this drop. Right? You want this drop. 543 pips. That was back in 2020. Right? Anybody remember what happened in March 2020? You said COVID, you got it right. So I don't think that's going to happen right now, but just drop to this weekly demand zone is going to happen, and then we'll be ready to go. All right, I'm bearish. Odd CAD, keep dropping it, baby. For value gap, let's do it. Bearish, odd CAD, NCD CAD, where we at? If NCD, if odd CAD's dropping, I know you dropping. Okay, there we are. All right, so I think we're going to come back up here, though. I think NCD is going to pick up some strength. Hint, NCD, pick up some strength. Your NCD, pound NCD, push it down. NCD CAD, NCD USD, push it up. NCD USD, yes, NCD JPY, push up. So I think we're going to go a little bit down right here, touch this demand zone, and then we're going to come back out up here. So buy. Okay, this is where we're at. Okay. What odds switch French? Ooh, now is the time to buy. Yeah. Okay. Odds switch French. I'll be bullish. NCD switch French. I'm gonna be bullish. Not even looked at it. Yep. See. Oh yeah. Oof. Oh yeah. I might just have for you right here. Yeah. Supply. Come on, guys. Got this one. Buy and supply. I might move this for now. Yep. Look at this imbalance. Come on. Look at that. That's a nice setup. NCD chef, guys. Buy. Nice. I'm serious. This is really nice. This is a nice setup right here, especially when you have this much kind of confluence here, like this, with imbalances. Really good setup. Really good setup. That's a setup. Odd NCD. Okay, we fell into this demand area. Nice. I think we're gonna come back down a little bit. Gonna be in the range a little bit. I don't think we're gonna be. We're gonna go lower than this. I think we're gonna come back. We're gonna retest this. Okay, guys. I think we're gonna come back down. We're gonna retest. We're gonna fill in this gap. We may come in a little bit lower. Then after that, in fact, we may come just low. May go a little bit lower. It can go as far as that low, and then we're going back up. I can see it come down right here. What am I doing with this? Where did I go with that? I don't know what I was doing with that marker. What am I doing with this? Okay, yep. So a little bit lower. Then we're gonna come back higher. I can see that. I think that's gonna happen with odd next odd interest rate decision. I think odd's gonna kick in strength. This is gonna be a nice trade setup to buy on odd NCD. All right, are we on the last pair? US switch France? Yes, we are. What are we doing? You should be buying. Switch France was strong, huh? Okay, we're still in the weekly demand. Buy. Okay, guys. All right. Hope you guys find this recording helpful. And we'll be into a live trading session for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Bye bye. Have a good week and a good day.